Alright, hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm. I've got my favored saw, my MS-441 steel, and then I've picked up this Dolmar 6400. Let's see. What was it? 6 point. I don't know. I don't remember all the specs off the top of my head. But anyway, it's a smaller displacement saw than this one. It weighs just as much as this one. I really didn't know anything about it. It was pretty much given to me. So it runs, I do know that much. They also, this is the brand of saw that, or this is where the Makita chainsaws came from, is what they are. So, it runs a 3/32 chain, it looks like, rather than a 3/8, which is what I have on the steel. So, you know, not a feather in its hat by any means. But anyway, as you can see, it's filthy, it's nasty, it wasn't very well taken care of. Somebody somewhere or another bent the guard there. Yeah, that's really about all I'm aware of with it at the moment. But we're going to give it a little maintenance here, and I'm going to take it and use it and see what it does. Probably going to end up selling it to somebody, but who knows, maybe I will just absolutely love this thing and get rid of that. Seriously doubt it, but hey, it's an option. So yeah, let me get to work on cleaning this girl up, and then we'll see what it'll do. So, as I was saying, it's not very well maintained. As far as that goes, the air filter was even loose sitting on the carburetor there, so I can, we'll have to see what it's like exactly, but it's pretty plugged up there. Alright, so I don't know if we're missing a piece or what the deal is here. Hopefully y'all can see that better than I can through the camera at the moment. We're out in the sun. But there's literally nothing that holds that air filter on there. This thing probably should cam over and lock, but it doesn't. I mean, it takes nothing to move this, and then the air filter just flies right off of it. So, not such a good idea, I don't think. I'll show you the steel air filter setup here in a minute. But in fairness, I've got a much professional steel, and I don't know what these people make. Okay, so steel air filter setup. Now again, this is a big, expensive steel chainsaw, but anyway, it don't get any better than that. I mean, literally, there's a wing nut that you have to unscrew and then screw back on. And you have a way big filter surface area to pull through. So, definitely a better design on that. Of course, standard steel issue, you've got two nuts there to hold the side cover on, and then your adjustment screw is right in that hole. This thing over here, I'm not real sure about it yet, but I'll show you what I think, and then I'll get it apart and we'll see what's going on for sure. So again, two nut setup. I've already took it off, started taking it loose, but anyway, I gather this should be your adjusting screw right here for the chain tension. Let's test that theory right quick, because like I said, I've already started loosening it. It's something, but I don't know what. Yes, that is your tensioning screw. Right there on the side, right out there like that. Don't know if I like that either or not, but hey, let's take it apart and see what it looks like. Okay, so there's your adjuster setup right there on the side cover of the chainsaw. Now, of course, after I cleaned all the gunk off of it, we have another problem. So while this in here is pretty much a mirror image of what's in my steel, the one in the steel is mounted in here on the part of the aluminum body of the chainsaw, not out here on this plastic fiberglass cover. That is broken from getting hit by something while cutting wood. This is a newer piece than this saw is, and this is a lot heavier piece than that, but it broke. We were cutting up a treetop, or I was cutting up a treetop, and I'd cut one limb off, and then I was working on the limb next one down, and they both are the one was next one down. When I cut it loose, the other one came down and hit the saw, knocked it out of my hands, and busted this side cover right there. So I had to replace that at one point in time on that thing. But when it does that, it's not going to damage your adjuster. So while this is a solid design here, it's not such a good idea to have it on this piece. But anyway, and then as you can see, we've got some damage back here on this guard from where the chain has been flung off of it a few times, I would guess. Yeah, anyway, it's not been well cared for, but we're gonna see what it's got here. The rest of it, it's a chainsaw, so I'm gonna probably retouch that chain a little bit and make sure the bar's clean and straight and what have you, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so we cleaned all the gunk out of there. I ran the chain on the sharpener. I'm gonna make a flat spot here so we can show you this chain. Hopefully it'll show up on camera here. I don't know how well it's showing up, but anyway, you can see. I'll find something to point with. That'll work. There's a rolled edge on the bottom side of this chain. Not real sure how you accomplish that, but right there, I can get the camera pointed in the right direction. There's a rolled edge on the bottom side of that chain. I don't have anything to replace it with, but this one is highly abused. And then on the bar also, it has been flipped, but not near often enough, so you have rolled edges on both sides of the bar, which isn't really a good thing, but it's nothing that a little file won't fix. So let me clamp this thing in a vise and file it off a little bit and then see what we can do. Alright, so we're all put back together again. Sharp the chain a little bit. This adjuster does work. All in all, I mean, for someone that's cutting firewood for themselves and doing homeowner stuff, this would probably be a pretty good saw. I don't know. I haven't There seems to be a decent online parts selection, but not many dealers around. This saw came from wherever, Right Small Engine, Turner Station, Kentucky. I'm not even sure where Turner Station, Kentucky is. And I did do a local dealer search for them, and there's pretty much nothing out there around here. I need to tighten that a little bit more. Anyway, you know, like I say, seems to be a pretty good little saw, but I can't swear to that. I haven't used it. I started it. Started pretty easy. I guess I could show you that. If I can prop this thing up so you guys can see something, like maybe so. And then, let's see here. Turn that on. Choke. Excuse my unfamiliarity here. It's got a compression release. Okay, choke in. So anyway, pretty easy to start, really. That thing can be a little bit more cantankerous than that even sometimes. But after that one fired, I didn't have to push the compression release back in to turn it. And that thing, if you don't push the compression release back in, you'll break the rope. So, but it usually does start up second pull. Anyway, I didn't bother straightening this thing out. Like I said, I need to readjust the chain. But I'm going to go and use it, and we'll see what it does. I mean, I'm going to take my known good saw out to do what I need to do, and then once I get the trees down to a size where I can drag them down the hill, I'm going to use that to cut them up. But anyway, that's the plan for today, and then I'll, excuse me, tack on to the end here about what it's like. I mean, you know, I know as much about this thing as you guys do at the moment, but the part that gets me is this is a probably like a 362 class saw as far as engine size goes, and it weighs literally within a couple ounces of what that thing does. And that's, you know, a whole like 2 sizes bigger saw. So anyway, it's heavy. I've kind of gotten spoiled with which this does seem to have some sort of a cushion. There's a spring right there, a cushion grip kind of thing on it. And I've gotten really spoiled with this one because this handle doesn't vibrate, which is really nice at the end of the day because your hands aren't numb when you're done with it. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go use it and then we'll see what it does. I mean, chances are it's not gonna know what to do with itself because it's actually somewhat clean at the moment, but we're gonna have to give it a try anyway. Okay, so something else to point out. You definitely don't want to have to put gas in this thing when the engine's hot. Watch this. Well, okay, it's not going to do it now. It does not vent at all. When I first loosened the cap, it was spraying fuel out. So, there was some kind of a deal about Steels doing that. I never saw one do it, but anyway. Ooh! Wow, okay. that's definitely not a feature I like when I have to run into one that does that kind of thing, because that's bad news. But anyway, just another point. Okay then, well, I didn't cut all this with the Dolmar. I used my steel. I had to change chains. I don't know what's wrong with the chain I had on it, but it does not cut, and it looks sharp, so I don't know. But anyway, as I was saying, the Dolmar. Now, it's got a lot of power for what it is, I must say. Let me just set it over here where we can look at it. So anyway, the Dolmar, it's got a lot of power for what it is, I think. It's pretty good saw. I don't know what the new pricing on them is. I don't really care. I'm not buying one. This is a 6400, which I don't think they make anymore. But all in all, I think it's a pretty good little saw. It was quick. It's heavier than I really think it should be for what it's supposed to be, but anyway, probably the only thing really to say about it, is going to be to, like I said, I don't know its price points or anything else, but it's going to be, it's fairly competitively priced, I think, with everything else out there. They are, you know, like I say, it seems to be a pretty good saw. So more or less, as long as you don't need dealer support and you can get a hold of one for a decent price, I think you'd be doing all right. Anyway, I think that's it for now, guys. I got to split wood. So now all that, we're going to run through there and stack it up and get out of here. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe for more, and we'll get back to you.